Hey, what is going on, everybody? This is Chris Williams. I hope you're having a great, incredible day. Hey, so today I have a conversation that I wanted to share. It's something that I don't think we tend to think through enough, and I wanted to make sure that I share this conversation with you today. And in order to do so, I'm gonna do some writing, I'm gonna do some sharing, because I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. But I want to talk about something that's really important, especially for those of you who are entrepreneurial or you're entrepreneurial and you are working your day job and you're trying to figure out some things, and maybe some things just aren't quite clicking. So I want to talk about the 3 things everybody knows about a side business that you just don't. And I'm going to reveal those things for you right here, right now. Now, here's the thing that I want to kind of start with. As an employee, many of us have learned the art of, we've got it mastered, but we've really learned the art of taking a task, being told what to do, and just doing that particular task. Right? Many of us have learned and mastered when someone tells me what to do, I'll do it. The issue with being so good at waiting for direction is that when you're building your side business, it's a direct opposite approach. You have to be proactive. No one is telling you what to do. In fact, nothing moves unless you do, right? So part of the challenge that many people go through who are building a successful side business, and the ones that I've talked to and the people that I interview, I find out some really key threads to the ones that are failing, the ones that have just become hobbies, and the people who actually take the time to build it the right way. So I want to share with you about that, and I want to talk to you about some ways that this will help you. Now, I know you're probably like, well, wait a minute, but you told me before that if I have a side business, I'll show up better at work. Well, I'm going to show you some things that you probably didn't think about that'll make a quantum leap in your everyday job. But it starts with what you learn in a side business. Now, if you want to learn more about that, and if you want to challenge yourself, I got a 5-day challenge. It's available to you right now. You can definitely go check it out. Go to www.thesidebusinesschallenge.com, and guess what? You can go and hop in and join you and the rest of our family and friends. And guess what's going to happen? I'm going to challenge you for 5 days. For 5 whole days, we're going to sit down and we're going to break it down, and I'm going to show you how to get to taking the next step. I'm unleashing a ton of information over the last several years that I've collected. Personal life, friends that I talk to, successful people, unsuccessful people. I'm giving you all the good so that you can do better. So there's that. All right. So let's dive into these 3 things that everyone knows about a side business that you don't. All right. So I'm going to write down these words. Okay. I'm going to write these down, and then we're going to have a conversation about them. All right. So let me just add my whiteboard here. So what I want to do is this. I'm going to write these words down. Let me just do number 1. We're going to talk about automate. 2, we're going to talk about invest. And 3, we're going to talk about a big word that I care about a whole lot, because most people don't think it through, and discipline. Okay. So we're talking about automate, invest, and discipline. Now, here's the thing that I want us to think about. It is 2022. Okay. And with it being 2022, the key that I want us to remember is that there is no world that exists right now that there is not something available for you to be able to not only start your side business successfully, but to automate things. Let me share this with you, because these are the things that I think that we got to start We got to allow ourselves an openness to start thinking outside of the box. Do you realize there are so many things right now that you can automate? What's one thing you can automate? Well, I can automate email. I can automate processes, right? I can automate certain tasks, right? Let's see. And when it comes to email, like I can automate responses, right? I can automate follow-up, right? Like there are so many things when it comes to email that you can automate. And processes, I can automate literally by digital technology. The start of something, the stop of something, and the redirect of something. All by digital technology, right? I can automate tasks. I can go on and on. But my point is, building a side business does not have to be so hard. We make it hard because we're used to taking orders. If you're an employee, even if you're a manager, you're still used to taking orders. You're waiting on an answer. Now, some of us have gotten really good and developed a skill of being proactive in our roles, but proactive based on the confines of what's been given to us. I'm going to tell you something right now. If you want your side business to be successful, you're going to have to, the first thing you want to do is look at every area of your current side business and start looking, okay, what am I currently doing today that are the things that either, let's write these down. What am I doing today of the things that, and I'm going to change the color here, that are draining? Right? What are the things that I'm doing right now that are draining to me? Uh-oh, you guys can't see that. There we go. What are the things that I'm doing right now that are draining? And you know what? I should write this a little better. Y'all, I'm getting better with this pen, but clearly there are days that I do better than others. So what are the tasks? What are the operations? What are the things that I do right now that are pretty draining, right? I could probably automate that, okay? Another thing you might want to think about, when I automate things, what's my goal? My goal is efficiency, right? You have a day job, you have things to do. So what you want to start looking at is, okay, what is draining to me? And if it's draining to me, there may be a potential process that, or something that I can use, software as a service, right? Some of you have heard of this term before, okay? Software as a service or a SaaS, right? What is that I can actually tap into that would allow me to, leverage that, because that task to me is draining, right? So for example, when I do, videos, when I make stuff on YouTube, right? There are things to me that are actually draining. I don't like editing. Okay. I don't like editing. Do I do it? Sure. But can I hand that over to someone else and potentially just pay them to do it? Yes. What does that do? That frees up the number one thing that I want us to all remember. Here's what we are all after every day, all day, and twice on Sunday, is that every last one of us want more of this. This thing right here is what we realize is the most important thing in our everyday world. Is we all want more time. Well, you can't have a side business and want to be as hands-on and doing everything and being all in the details. That's not a business. That's micromanaging. When there is digital technology today and people who are smart enough that can automate that stuff for you, and it can save you the very thing that you assume you want in your head, but your actions show, no, you just want another job. I'm just trying to help you today. All right. That's number one. Okay. So we talked about number one. Number two is invest. All right. So here's the thing about investing. Okay. When we talk about investing, what I want you to understand is there's two types of investments when it comes to your business. Let's look at these really quickly. Okay. There's two types of investments when it comes to your side business. All right. And this second one we talked about is invest. So let me put invest up here. All right. So there's two types. One of the investments you're going to make is, we'll make this purple. One of the main investments you're going to make is in systems. This is why I talked about automation being the one thing that most people who have a side business, they figured this out, but you don't know this yet. And before you spend a whole lot of time just running around doing everything, look at the side business for what it is and start asking yourself better questions. If you want a conversation about better questions, go back to my last post that I did about the power of asking better questions. It can save you so much time and money. But one of the biggest investments you're going to make is in the systems. What systems could I put in place that cost me money? Yes, in order to make this business run efficiently, right? The other investment that you're going to make is in, let's change this color, yourself. Now, the most interesting thing about making an investment in yourself is most of us would think that, well, the side business is investment in myself because then that means I'm bringing in extra money and then I can have options later. No, your side business is there to solve a problem that you realize you, with your unique skill set, can answer for other people. And hint, the money that comes into that side business and the money that you generate for solving that problem for said customer and outside person is for the business to get better and to get more efficient. Just thought I would drop that in there. But let's talk about investing for a second. So investing, you're investing in systems and you're going to invest in yourself. Well, the systems that you're going to invest in, here's the key. When you invest in these systems, what you're ultimately trying to achieve with the investment of dollars, yes, real money into these systems, is that you want a system by which it will take care of the things that you need. I'll give you a perfect example. Let's just lay some out here. A VA might be worth the investment. Why? Because the VA might be handling a certain amount of tasks that if you were in a brick and mortar place and you didn't want to do those things, they could do. They will have systems, communication systems, delegation systems, email systems, all those other things, right? You might invest.
Hey, I know you're enjoying this episode and I want to say thank you. But if you're like the people that I know, and I think I know you pretty well, you're actually enjoying this, and there's other people like you who would like to know that this is something that you pay attention to. So guess what? I need you to hit the subscribe button, but also hit the notifications bell, so that way you always know when we're dropping something new. But also, which is more important,
and it
share this with somebody that you know is interested in this type of conversation and content, because I guarantee you will add a level of understanding and communication that you probably are looking for from those individuals anyway. And the other cool part is you all will be learning together. So go ahead and subscribe, hit the notifications bell now, and guess what? You'll constantly be reminded of when we drop new content like what you're watching right now.
Ask yourself,
let's get back to the episode.
If I invest in a system to take care of this, will it free me up to do the thing that I'm really good at? Now, if you like doing those things yourself, then cool. You found something you want to do. Maybe your thought is, maybe I should find somebody to run the business because I like doing the thing within the business. That's just personal self-awareness and things that you've got to be honest with yourself about, right? But if you're trying to have a real side business, the key is you got to invest in systems. The other part is yourself. What do I mean by investing in yourself? Well, you need to invest in books, trainings, potentially a mastermind, right? There might be some boot camps that might help you, right? You might need to invest in a coach to help you, right? Like you have got the person I was when I started is not the same person that is talking to you today.
Hey, this is Chris Williams. Thank you so much for tuning in. Listen, the one thing I want you to be able to do today is that I know that many of you are trying to figure out how in the world do I go from, I got this idea, I'm kind of sick of my job, but I don't know where to create the engagement. You need to actually start you a side business. And guess what? I'm going to be able to help you out do that. You know what I created? I actually created the 5-day Start Your Side Business Challenge. That's right. Me and you are going to work together for 5 days for 1 hour. And what we're going to do is we're going to go from thinking about it to actually taking the next step. And I'm going to show you some things about leveraging your job that you didn't know. I'm going to also show you some things from a tax perspective that you didn't know. But here's the other cool part. We're going to actually take all of the information that's swirling around in your head, and we're going to put it to some action. So go ahead and go right now to the website, thesidebusinesschallenge.com. Go ahead and register, get your ticket. I'll see you in. Back to the episode.
It is not because I've just been doing it longer or I've got some secret sauce. You know what my secret sauce is? These things right here. I'm investing very heavily in this. Systems and myself. I have right now on my desk, you can't see my desk, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different books on my desk right now. Yeah, I know it sounds weird, but let me talk about books for a second. Let me share with you this thought that struck me one day, and it never left me. When you think of a book, right? Most people, when they think of books, right? Most people think of reading to completion, right? And that's great. I think I honestly if you get a good book and something that you like, I think those are awesome. But here's the thing I want you to think about when it comes to books and investing in yourself. You got to start reading books that help you in a specific area. So I've got to start reading books intentionally and books that that help where I'm ignorant. Right? And here's the thing, don't take ignorant as a negative connotation. Ignorance just means a lack of knowledge. That's all it means. Right? So I read certain books based on what I'm trying to learn then, right? So that's what makes me go buy books. I think I've probably bought in the last 3 months of this year alone, 2 months of this year alone, I probably have bought somewhere north of 15 books, 15 to 20. Because right now I'm in a space where I'm learning so I can prepare so that I can have the right mindset so that, oh, I didn't know that I could do this thing as I'm building this portion of my business. Like that's the way I'm reading books. But guess what? I'm gonna show you something. Here's the kicker about reading books this way. The kicker about reading books this way is, oh, sorry, I picked the wrong thing. I now read books as a reference tool. They're my reference tool. What that means, I no longer do this. I don't read for completion. Okay. So I'll give you a perfect example. I got two books here that I'm reading. One is Rich Dad's The Business of the 21st Century, right? There, you can see that. Rich Dad's The Business of the 21st Century, because I'm going back through some things that are some principles that I love in there. Then I'm reading this book, U Squared, okay? High velocity formula for multiplying your personal effectiveness in quantum leaps. But I am not reading these books through just to complete them. I'm reading them to learn. I'm reading them to grow. So I'll look at a chapter in a book and go, oh, that's interesting. I think that's one of the lanes that I'm thinking through right now. And I'll just go read that chapter. I'll make notes. It'll help me in crafting whatever I'm building out. But I might not finish, quote unquote, the book. Because I use books now as a reference tool. What does that mean? I'm probably going to come back to that book 1,000,000 times in my lifetime. I read the Bible as a reference tool. I've learned to do that. That's just me, right? And so what I'm telling you is when you start looking at investing in yourself, you want to start looking at everything that you're doing and going, okay, if I'm trying to build my side business, then that means if I'm going to invest, I got to invest in myself. Right? Like, let me go back. So you might be investing, right, in some trainings. Oh, sorry. You might be investing in some trainings, right? You might be investing in some masterminds. You might be investing in some boot camps. You might be investing in a coach. All of these things are necessary for you to get better. I'm going to tell you something right now. Here's a harsh reality about building your side business. The harsh reality is whatever great idea you think will help people to solve their problem, you're not personally as great as you need to be for the business to become as wildly successful as it's supposed to be. Not when you think of the idea. Probably not even when you start. You become that as time goes. If you're willing to invest in systems and yourself, you'll get there. How fast or how slow? Time, experience, and you know having a willingness to keep going will determine that, right? But I think it's worth it. I do think it's worth it, right? All right. Last one I want to talk about is a really important one. And this one is the one that I would say takes the cake of all of them, because at the end of the day, the only way I am going to, be able to do any of this, right? The only way I'm going to be able to think through automations, the only way I'm going to be able to invest in systems and myself is I got to get really good at this one thing. And I'm telling you right now, this is the one. I did a post about this on my Instagram recently. And the one thing that we all have got to, this one word has to become your life's long mission that you have accepted in your mind that you will never master. You know what that is? Discipline. You're gonna have to really, you have to fall in love with some very mundane stuff. I'm gonna share a word with you that many of us like to shy away from. Most of us will shy away from the word boring. But becoming a millionaire is a very boring role. Because millionaires who are walking those streets every day that you don't even know that they're millionaires, the people that you would have no idea that they've actually, built them a sizable side business and or, just a business that works best for them and their family. They have found a way to make something so routine, so normal. They've probably automated it. They've even got things that they do for themselves that is just repetitive. And they keep doing it over and over and over and over and over and over again. See, boring, while we think about that, can actually make you a whole lot of money. It actually could. But see, some of us want flashy, right? We want the thing that is like, oh, the new hot trend, and let me jump on that. No. The people who jump on the trend are going to last as long as they're winning. People who have a successful side business, the thing that they know that you don't is that people who have a successful side business, they're not doing the trend. This is what they're doing. Here's what discipline has to do with having that successful side business. Let me share this, because this is something I'm working through personally in my own life. One of the biggest keys that discipline is doing for me right now, and that I think that we all have to be mindful of and hold ourselves accountable at work, and especially when it comes to your everyday life, is discipline forces conversation. Some of us have no idea just how important it is to think. Like, honestly, I'm not being funny when I say that. I'm saying the importance of actually thinking instead of being on autopilot. You know what autopilot is? You ever been driving home from work one day and you walk in the house and you don't even remember the drive home? That's autopilot. You weren't conscious. You subconsciously drove all the way home. That 45, 47 minutes, that 56 minutes, you literally drove home unconscious. See, when you have to have a discipline, it's going to force you to wake up. And you're going to realize really quickly that maybe there's some things that I'm doing that, that's not it. Does it work for me to stay comfortable? Absolutely. If you want to stay comfortable, then keep doing exactly what you're doing. But if you really want to have a real side business, discipline will force you to have hard conversations with nobody else but you. And it's going to suck sometimes. See, why is that? Because discipline, we got to start talking about the time I spend doing something, right? We got to start talking about discipline will force me to think through my current routines, right? Discipline is going to force me to think about I'll just use this word, laziness, right? What areas in my life am I lazy? Discipline is going to make me consider all of those things. And here's something interesting that I love about discipline, because discipline will get us here. How bad do I really want it? That's the question. Discipline will end up forcing us down to that question. How bad do you really want this? You know what discipline is. You know how it feels. You know how it works. Heck, you got where you are in your career because you were disciplined enough to get there. You did the work. You made the sacrifices. It's not that it's not already in you. It's just that if you're building a successful side business and you had a great idea and you knew you could solve a problem in the marketplace, The question is going to come down to how bad do you really want it? And what does that mean? That means that it's going to come back down to your discipline. How you spend your time, where you spend your time. What are you reading? What circle, like it's all of those things. What circles are you spending time in, right? Like these are things that are, they're the most critical, but it's hard because unfortunately we haven't always challenged ourselves.
Hey, this is Chris Williams. Thank you so much for tuning in. Listen, the one thing I want you to be able to do today is that I know that many of you are trying to figure out how in the world do I go from, I got this idea, I'm kind of sick of my job, but I don't know where to create the engagement. You need to actually start you a side business. And guess what? I'm going to be able to help you out do that. You know what I created? I actually created the 5-day Start Your Side Business Challenge. That's right. Me and you are going to work together for 5 days for 1 hour. And what we're going to do is we're going to go from thinking about it to actually taking the next step. And I'm going to show you some things about leveraging your job that you didn't know. I'm going to also show you some things from a tax perspective that you didn't know. But here's the other cool part. We're going to actually take all of the information that's swirling around in your head, and we're going to put it to some action. So go ahead and go right now to the website, thesidebusinesschallenge.com. Go ahead and register, get your ticket. I'll see you in. Back to the episode.
We don't challenge ourselves enough. And success is a thinking man's game. It just is. Success is a thinking man's game. You can get hot for a little while. Yeah, that can happen. You can get hot. But a sustained, successful business, that's a thinking man's game. And the question is, how much brain power are you willing to put into thinking through your world, your days, your routines, right? What you're going to tackle, how you do things. It's all of that. So, what are you going to do? Right? Hopefully you found this helpful. Hopefully you understand that in order for you to be successful, in order for you to have the things that you want, you're going to have to really look at, all right, these are the 3 things that I wasn't considering. I need to get to them, right? You need to get to them. You got to think about the automations. What are you automating? If you're not, get to them. Start investing. Oh, and one thing I didn't mention that I need to mention about investments. Listen, if you really want your side business to be successful, 3 words: don't be cheap. Listen, I have found it to be hilarious in my life. I laugh at myself now, but there was a time where I didn't want to pay for nothing. I didn't want, I'm looking for the cheapest thing. I was, bargain hunting. As long as I saw a red tag that told me sale, that's the only thing I'm going for. And when somebody would ask me to buy something, I had an immediate attitude. Seriously? But then you want to start a side business. And now you want to ask people to buy something from you. And you wonder why it's so hard. Maybe, just maybe, you got to stop being so cheap. Pay for things early, now, and often. Because what we don't realize is subconsciously there is a picture of ourselves and our beliefs and our habits that we project out into the world. So if you're always trying to be cheap, guess what you're going to find? A bunch of cheap people that you're also trying to have sell your product or service to. If all you do is spend your time focused on every version of the freest things you can find, It's going to be hard for you to do a side business. I'm not saying go out here and blow all your money. I am saying stop never being okay with paying for things. Pay for it. Let me tell you something right now. If you end up running across somebody who seems to have a really good software or a system or something that they can automate something for you in your business to make it go, and it costs you, $1,000, $3,000 or whatever a year to make that work, pay it. Because you know what's on the other side of you paying it? Revenue. See, when we work a job, we're waiting for a paycheck. A business is after revenue. That's a whole nother conversation. But these are the types of things that you gotta consider. What is my mindset? How am I approaching this every day? And if I'm not thinking that way today, I hope you are now, right? Hopefully this is helpful to you. Because it is so important for you and I to be mindful of the way we show up every day, to everything we do, how we show up with our kids, our spouses, how we show up at work, how we show up in our side business. It's important. You're busy. You have a lot to do. But there's no reason to waste time because you just, there's a word that you need to think through, and it's called control. How much control are you trying to display and have that might be crippling your ability to do anything at your regular day job and or get anything done in your side business? Everybody wants control. I don't want control. I'm not trying to control people or things. I'm trying to work with people and things to build a better product and create value in the world. That's it. I don't need control. Self-discipline is the ability to be able to take care of who I am internally. So I need to have control of my emotions, the way I operate, and how I show up every day. That's the only control I need to have. Everything else you cannot control. You can only work with. And the quicker you start to realize that, man, the better off you are. Okay? So listen, hopefully you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, just so you know, the Side Business Challenge is coming up. You need to hop in. Join it. It's going to be so awesome. 5 days we're going to work together. You can get a part of the VIP experience, or you can get a general admission ticket. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you're trying to think through and you've been trying to figure out your next step and you're not really sure, what to do, I got you. I'm taking several years of just experience and learning and things that I put together, and I put it together in a 5-day challenge because we all need to be challenged. It's fun to go through a challenge. Some of you go do a 5K or a 10K every year. Some of you are in the Spartan races. Some of you challenge yourselves to lose weight and you did it. I've done it, lost 65 pounds. I am always challenging myself. I'm asking and I'm challenging you right now. Hop in, go to the link. It's in the description below. Other than that, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you got some value out of this. Now go do something with it and share this video. Tell somebody. You can go do that right now and talk about how it may have resonated with you. Thank you so much. Have a great, incredible day. And man, continue to tune in and listen. I got so many things coming that I cannot wait to tell you. Hard to keep it to myself, but it's coming. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great, incredible day. See you later.